Hi guys, I am Lindsay Jew and we are back for another episode of the Block Update. Today I have a special guest, Munair Simpson.
Hi guys, thanks for having me, Lindsay.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And so we're going to do the Block Update, episode number 3, and this one, or I should say, numero 3, because we're going to be talking about Latin America. What? Okay, so I've been getting some heat because, and not from down south, particularly with Latin America, but from other haters, especially in Korea and the US, that say, oh, Latin America, they don't know what's going on in crypto, they're never gonna be a market. And I'm like, don't sleep on Latin America.
That's right. Never
don't sleep,
about.
right?
Yeah,
I mean, you know from capoeira, you know from just being down there and seeing what's going on.
Brazil's hot.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. There's a lot of stuff going on down in every part of Latin America, so it's very cool.
It's true. But what I like about Latin America and why I think it's gonna take off is people need it. They need a reliance on a digital currency because they're having so much inflation, so much economic turmoil.
Yes.
And we don't have that same utility factor in the US or in Korea. Like our currencies, our government-run currencies are very stable. The US dollar, the Korean won, people can rely that they'll be able to, get their paychecks.
Yes.
And when they do get their paychecks, they'll be able to pay their rent, buy their groceries, for the week, foreseeable future, because the inflation isn't changing rapidly. Like people I hear about in Venezuela, they'll get paid, but then they'll go immediately to the bank that day. And when they withdraw their cash, they don't leave it in the local bolivar. They change it over to USD or they change it over to Euro because otherwise it could drop in, 48 hours, 24 hours, 30, 40%.
Yes.
I mean, how disheartening would that be?
Very common. Even used to happen in Jamaica. A lot of times in Jamaica, people used to take their money and put it in US dollar. It was a store of value because no one trusted the Jamaican dollar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I think what people are seeing is they want to rely on another currency, and they're also quick to adapt. I want to say that the Bolivar hasn't even been around that long. I mean, it's been, maybe a few years, maybe a decade, and so what people do is they understand, like, okay, let's just rely on a currency for utility purposes, to buy food, to pay rent, to get around.
Yes.
And so one of the things that is taking off is Dash. And so one of the stories that I read about recently was this woman, Isabel, she was showing people, she's in Venezuela, and she's showing people, okay, I can use Dash, which is an altcoin, and I can go to Church's Chicken, and I can buy fried chicken, with my crypto. And I think that that's great because she's reliant that it's there, it's on her mobile device, and she can just pay with her QR code right there in a fast food chain. I mean, I think that's utility at its greatest.
Not only is it utility, actually, if you're worried about inflation, you actually probably do want to jump into an asset like Dash because Dash is deflationary. So you have the opposite going on. What inflation means is that the supply keeps growing. But when you're into something like Dash, the supply is very fixed. So you don't have to worry about dilution. The dilution just means that the supply keeps increasing, and every time the supply increases, the value of what you own already goes down. Okay? So when you jump into Dash, you're going deflationary. So it's a very powerful tool if you're in an inflationary environment.
Yeah, and guys, this isn't necessarily financial advice. This is just information for you to do further research upon. But if you check the trading charts and what Munair is saying, essentially you'll see Dash following very closely to the movements of the US dollar. You'll also see it following very closely to the movements of Bitcoin over its lifetime in its market cap and its trading volumes. So check that out and see what's going on with Dash, which is a cryptocurrency that's out there and being used widely, I'd say, in Venezuela. Another point that I want to cover that I think is really interesting is what's going on in Argentina. So I had a chance to meet CZ in Korea recently.
CZ is, for those who don't know.
CZ is a self-made man in crypto. So hats off to him. I really respect him for that. He used to be with OKCoin, and now he is the CEO and founder of Binance.
Amazing exchange.
The largest crypto exchange by trading volume. Originally a Chinese exchange. I don't know if they're in Malta now. I'm not sure. I don't keep up
everywhere.
with it. They're based everywhere. But they are the exchange to be on, to be trading. I think that Binance is synonymous with crypto exchange at this point.
That's great.
If you're into crypto, you know Binance. And so I had a chance to meet the legendary CZ
Awesome.
In Korea earlier this April. First point, very approachable, friendly guy.
Super guy.
Yeah?
Real down to earth.
I mean, anybody who's met him, I've only heard positive things. But what he and Binance are doing is they have an incubation hub that they've set up in Venezuela, actually.
Fantastic.
To accelerate crypto projects and to really invest in the local community. So I think that, that's also helping them get more traders onto their platform. But it's also just an investment into Latin America locally.
Yes.
So people are more likely to take a look at Binance in turn, because it's not just this exchange that came up overnight and you don't know if they're going to be around tomorrow, because they're making investment. You see that people in Argentina are actually willing to check it out, to register, and see it as something that's going to be around for the long-term future.
I think Binance's strategy has been amazing, because they go into places like Venezuela. Of course, they have the exchange in Uganda. And what they're doing is they're helping communities get into crypto. And they're putting out that brand, and over time, the brand is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. They are just doing fantastic moves.
Yeah, I mean, I also respect them because they're doing good marketing.
Yes.
They know how to get out there and really build quickly.
Amazing. Yes.
I think that's what the Binance team has been good on. And this is just further proof that crypto is going out there. It has legs in Latin America. And I think that there's going to be a lot to check out in the future. Ella Zhang is the one who's heading up the incubation program in Binance Labs down in Venezuela. So I also have to support my women in crypto. Go Ella.
And I think if you want to be precise, Ella Zhang. Zhang is her last name.
Okay, thank you for helping me my pronunciation. Yeah, it's with a Z, ZH, so I said Zhang.
Chinese names are hard.
Yeah. How much Mandarin do you speak?
I spent one whole year of my life studying Chinese, so that's why I know it's Zhang.
1 year more than me, so you'd be the expert on that. But yeah, I mean, I just want to a couple points out there from the media and sort of battle those that are saying that Latin America is not going to be a blockchain force to be reckoned with. I don't know, anything, other points or media that you
just in general, I think that it's very important to understand the history of the region. You're looking at Brazil, you're looking at Argentina, Chile. These economies are not small economies, but they've had history of problems with inflation, right? And throughout time, some of the currencies haven't been very well managed. So it's good, the advent of cryptocurrencies. It gives the populations there just another option, and I think that's great. Yeah,
the history in Latin America. I think you touch on a hot button there, because people will say like, "Oh, why is that? Is that drug wars? Is government changing over, leadership overthrows, things that you're not seeing day to day in the U.S. maybe." Complete leadership overhauls or complete rebellions, and that can take a toll on what's happening with the local currencies.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's because the vibe in Latin America is very. I mean, you have to go there and be there. I mean, I've been there many times, all over Latin America. Thanks be to goodness. But it's a very cool vibe. It's more about music and dance. And people are like fun. You go to Brazil, you have all the samba stuff. You have the capoeira. If you go to even Cuba, you've got salsa. You've got just so much goodness happening in Latin America. And it's not that they societies are bad. It's just that there's a focus on enjoying life. And sometimes people get caught up in enjoying the moment, and that spills over to central banks sometimes. And I think that's probably why that happens. Or even just government in general. And I don't want to say anything more than that, but there is definitely a history where things are not stable. I've talked to all my friends from Argentina from business school, and they'll say, well, this economy is up today and now it's down tomorrow, because it's just been like that. And you always have to adjust with that. Mm-hmm. Colombia was up one day, down another day. It's in constant flux.
Gotcha. Yeah. Colombia is another place that I do want to do a plug for. LA Conexion. They're going to be doing a conference down in Medellin, Colombia. So if you guys are in the area of Colombia, you guys should check out that particular conference. I believe it is May 21st. I'll put a link in the description for those that are out that way or want to check out the conference. And, it might not have the same number of attendees that you see in Korea, but hats off to them for doing, star-aligned events. So, guys, don't sleep on Latin America. That's all I've got, and I appreciate you guys watching this episode. Until next time, jump on the block, y'all. Bye.